how to remove a valve cover on a 1985 Honda XL350. This is the twin carb 350. Look at our sweet intake there that we had to make. Intake manifolds for these commonly crack. A new one, the replacement one, is around 600 bucks. And I mean, 600 bucks, really? We made one. But anyways, valve cover removal. So we're gonna take off the seat tank, bunch of bolts here, and then we're gonna pull this guy off. Let's get to it. Try not to lose those little brass washers. That one there. Try not to lose it, just like that. Pulling out all the bolts here, sort of try to keep order of where they went, because they do need to go back in the same spot. You can't have too short of a bolt or too long of a bolt, say, going in there. Obviously it's just not going to work. It's not going to do its job. So keep an eye on what bolt goes where. So there, now we have the valve cover off. So it's fairly simple. We're going to undo that cable, our oil feed line, all the bolts in somewhat sort of a sequence. So it's a good time to you know, inspect your camshaft and your valves. And I mean, valve tips all look good. Camshaft on this bike though probably should be replaced. And there's been someone in here welding things up in here, and see all this kind of bad wear going on there on all those surfaces. So that indicates this bike does need a bit of a top end rebuild. I'm not doing that. I'm just here to sort of show you guys. Well, might have to address that actually. It's quite bad. Anyways, for this video, that is how you do a valve cover on an XL350. Clearly we need to do a bit more work on this thing. So something worth noting when you're pulling out this guy here, which is for your compression relief, to make it easier for when you're kicking the motor over and whatnot. What that does there, it's gonna push your exhaust valve open a bit to relieve just a little bit of compression, to make it so that when you try to kick it over, you don't break your ankle. So when you pull this out, a little pin that sits up against the cylinder head is actually there to lock that in place, so that can't come out. I gotta push that down. So now that pushed down, can't pull that out. If that falls out like that and you lose it, that can just come out of there and you'll have one heck of an oil leak. So be careful about that pin. To install this, we're just gonna do it in reverse order. Torque all these bolts to spec. I will put the specs right around here somewhere. New gaskets in there. This center bolt has to go in first, because it'll hit the frame rail. There we go. So I just rotated the motor so that the valves aren't being pushed open. That way it allowed the valve cover to drop down on its own. See, if I turn it over and it's going to try pushing over a valve, what it's going to do now, it's going to lift the valve cover right up on its own there. See that? If it's up like that in that position, you're going to have a hard time. Rotate the motor until it basically drops itself on there. Make sure that everything looks like it's going to work out pretty good. Then we can start installing our bolts.